All right, Hanks took an animal identification photo test. This is literally like a picture of a giraffe, and they said, "What animal is this?" And he said, "Giraffe." And then he bragged about it on Air Force One to the press, and then he challenged others to take the test with him because he claims he aced it, which we know if he's talking about it ad nauseum, and then if it escalated to an MRI, he failed it. We have full-blown dementia. So fresh off of that admission that he failed his animal identification, AKA the dementia test, and fresh off of the lowest polling numbers this man has ever had. We're talking he is underwater approval rating in the 30s. We are just down to the absolute dipshit cultist right now. He puts out this banger on Lie Social. After winning 3 elections by a lot, I am now getting the best polling numbers that I've ever received. People see how strong the economy is, the trillions of dollars of investment pouring into our country, the record-setting strong border after years of millions of criminals pouring through it, totally unvetted and unchecked, ending 8 wars in 8 months, no men playing in women's sports, no transgender for everyone, rapidly falling energy prices, and much more. Despite all of this, which everything that he just said was a lie, every single thing, the radical left losers are taking fake ads, not showing real polls, but rather saying that I'm polling at low levels. These are the people that I've been beating for years, and I am continuing to do so, but by even bigger margins. These ads should not be allowed to run because they are fake. This was at 1:03 a.m. I just want to put the timestamp. Everything in that was completely false. Investments are not pouring into the United States. He's shaking down people. This government shakes other governments down, and he is actually colluding with people who are our adversaries.
Right.
So that Jared Kushner and Hanks and his dipshit sons, Dumb and Dumber, can all get richer. And I cannot believe that, him sending out these posts, he's been doing it for like 10 plus years now, but it's never going to be normal to me personally that the president of the United States sends out that diarrhea of a Lie Social post and it doesn't even make the news. That's how unhinged that is, but he does it all the time. And the sane washing from the media is just beyond the pale. They are such cowards. These leaders of the newsrooms are such cowards that when you think back to Watergate and the role the Washington Post played in this, it was run by a woman at the time.
Yeah.
And then now this capitulation and what a mockery of the First Amendment they make. It's just abhorrent.
Well, it's because the people that own and run these networks are Trumpers. Like CBS, they're like Trump City USA. I mean, all the social media. But here's my question when I read that. Is he truly that delusional and detached from reality?
Yes.
Or is it just lies? Or are the people around him such sycophants he doesn't have the real information? All 3 options, he should be impeached over. But what do you think it is? Do you think it's a combination of the 3? Because he is totally detached. The economy's never been better. It's thriving. Bullshit. You had to fire your own people because of the numbers. And now we're not getting numbers. That's, one of the little perks of the government shutdown. So it's truly delusional. Like delusional.
Well, but he's been doing this for decades. He was found guilty of fraud for lying about his net worth. This is not new. He has been doing this for decades. I know more about magnets than anybody else. I know more about reverse bathtubs than anybody else. I know more about Hannibal Lecter and insane asylums than anybody else. I have the best polling numbers. He is a compulsive liar, period. And this is what compulsive liars do. And I think psychiatrists would call this delusions of grandeur. This is a mentally ill person that suffers from massive personality disorders, with the cherry on top being full-blown dementia. And so he does this, but it's not new to him. This is a man who used to call to plant stories in New York society papers like Page 6 that he was a great lay. and he was acting like he wasn't himself. And at the time he was married to Marla Maples, trying to say that he was New York's hottest bachelor. So none of this is new. This man has been doing this forever. He just wasn't in charge of the United States of America. That's what's changed. But moving along, in that Lie Social post, he talks about the all the liars. And one thing that he's really butthurt about that he'll never get over is the 2020 election where Joe Biden beat him by almost 8 million votes. So there is this momentum now about the Trump third term, and you guys have seen the Steve Bannon thing, and you've seen the Trump 2028 hats that they put in front of Jeffries and Schumer. This third term stuff they're dead serious about. And a leaked CPAC document reveals the following. Fact Post tweets, unearthed CPAC document reveals the third term project group is looking into reconsidering presidential term limits for Trump. The group is advocating for a constitutional amendment to allow Trump to serve a third term, citing, quote, unfinished business. And I have something that I want to share, and I've shared with you all in previous episodes. I think because he is already talking about going after Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, he's already saying that any pardon that Joe Biden signed with an auto pen are void. I think that they are leaving a lot of things open. And one avenue that I think they're going to do is they're going to cook the books like they do everything and say, oh, we just found all these ballots and Trump actually won 2020. So this really is his third term. So that voids the 22nd Amendment. And I think that is another play that they're looking into, because he ran on that he was going to go after his enemies, and he is delivering on that. Of course, he, has this dipshit beauty queen lawyer that God only knows how she got through law school, much less past the bar, doing this and embarrassing themselves. But nonetheless, the damage is done. You have an American president going after the people who held him accountable for his law breaking. And so CPAC has one way that they're going to do it, but I'm just telling you that the drumbeat about this third term is going to get louder, and they're going to put all options on the table. And I think one of them is that they are going to say and cook the books and produce evidence that he won 2020, which we all know is a lie.
Right. But, here's the thing. I look at that and I 100% agree. That's the plan, because he's the only guy that can keep the cult together. This fucking guy, there is no way he is going. I mean, I would be surprised based on his cognitive impairment if he can genuinely make it to the end of this 4 years. So to think that he is going to be able to function cognitively until he's 86, come on. They picked the wrong horse, because he's going down fast.
They would weekend at Bernie, that guy, to keep the cult
they
together.
kind of already are, and look how hard it is.
Yeah, but to your point right here, here's the clip of Kanks saying that he doesn't have time to think about how to cheat to win a third term because he's too busy solving all these wars and, quote, wait for it, saving lives. Play the clip.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the court to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know, but I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia, Ukraine will happen. What we just did, we just left, and when you look at the treaty we just did, that was a war that was thousands of people were already shot at the border. And when you look at what we just did, was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. We got a lot of good credit. And I really have to thank Malaysia for that, because the Prime Minister and everybody really helped get the two countries together. But it was quite a great peace treaty. But that was one of 8. And makes me feel good. I mean, it's millions of people that we saved. I saved the lives of millions of people. That's what's important. Yeah.
Millions of people. He saved the lives of millions of people. Believes no one, not even DL Demon Queen Marco Rubio, standing behind you, soulless, believes that you saved the lives of millions of people, nor does little DL Demon Queen Marco Rubio believe for a second that you quote unquote solved 8 wars because, quote, yesterday he said, Pumps, solving wars was, I guess you could call it a hobby of mine. And so,
No, he did not.
yeah, I'm afraid so. A hobby. Okay. So this guy, you're right, Pumps, the cognitive decline, but here's the thing. Mean people, and you always remind me of this when I think, okay, he's going to keel over. Mean people live forever.
Yeah.
And you know, he could probably be 95, 96. And the base is just all letting him run around with dementia like this. In many ways, is just priming the public that, oh, yeah, our leader's he's just got dementia and he's crazy, but by God, he's fantastic. And what a disservice that all of this is getting normalized, and shame on little DL Demon Queen Marco Rubio standing back there, who absolutely knows better, but chooses this type of power, not the good kind of power, not the power for good, but the power for abject evil that he has signed up for because of his own personal ambitions and his own personal desire to compartmentalize his private life. And in that compartmentalization that he engages in, trying to preserve what his proclivities are, and then during the day, acting like he is a good husband and good Christian. And I think sometimes when you attack during the day, the very epicenter of who you are, and you put shame surrounding it, then it primes your psyche to engage in this type of political duplicity. And I think, and I've thought for a long time, that a lot of the players at the heart of this MAGA movement are DL Demon Queens or are DL bisexuals, which all of those things in a normal world are zero problem to anybody. They're only a problem to them because they lie and they hurt the very people they fetishize at night.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If they would be authentic and true to themselves, they wouldn't be so fucking mad all the time. They wouldn't be so mean. They would feel good about themselves. But instead, they inflict all this self-hatred on everybody else. It's really sad. Like Marco Rubio has lost his fucking soul, and you can see it on him.
Agree, because here's the stuff that he signs on to do, Pumps. Put this up. New reporting reveals the Trump administration cut $500 million in deliveries to food banks across the country. Food banks were expecting more than 27 million pounds of chicken, 2 million gallons of milk, 10 million pounds of dried fruit, and 67 million eggs that never arrived and went to waste instead. And there he is, little Marie Antoinette. Let them eat nothing. This is who? This fucking failed drag queen right here, Donald Trump Kanks. That little failed drag queen who wishes he was Marie Antoinette sits there and says, yeah, let's not feed the poor. Let's make sure we make healthcare as expensive as imaginable. And let's make sure I can ride around on my golf cart and tell all of my fat cat rich friends, I'm going to lower your taxes and I'm going to tax the working class more, not feed them and leave them high and dry on medical care. And that is who devout Christian, DL Demon Queen, little Marco Rubio signs up to serve all day, every day. And the fact that Democrats are not calling them out on their religious hypocrisy from sunup to sundown, and saying it over and over and over and over and over again, because that's what they do, but they do it with lies.
Right.
The Democrats need to start doing it with the truth. Call them out. All of Marco Rubio's fellow senators need to rip that motherfucker from tip to toe all day, every day for his complicity in this horrific, cruel regime that disproportionately attacks the poor and the most vulnerable among us. And if Marco Rubio were the big Catholic that he says he is, then he wouldn't be signed up for this. But instead, He's just a DL demon queen hypocrite, just like the rest of the people in that fucked up regime. All right, that's all we have. Buy the book. Here's our model, Pumps, modeling the book. And subscribe to our channel. We'll be back later with more news.